reflection of our life.
All I really need is a song in my heart.
That's it.
Food in my belly and love in my family. All I really need is a song in my heart and love in my family. And I need the rain to fall, and I need the sun to shine, to give life to the seeds of soul, to give you we need to grow. All I really need is a song in my heart and love in my family. All I really need is a song in my heart, food in my belly, love in my family. All I really need is a song in my heart and love in my family. And I need some clean water for drinking, and I need some clean air for breathing, so that I can grow strong, take my place where I belong. All I really need is a song in my heart and love in my family. All I really need is a song in my heart, food in my belly, and love in my family. All I really need is a song in my heart and love in my family.
Let's all sing it out. Here we go.
All I really need is a song in my heart, food in my belly, love in my family. All I really need is a song in my heart and love in my family. And love in my family. And love in my family.
Thank you so much, Dave, and thank you, Rafi. That's where that song came from. I love that. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
How is everyone this morning? Awesome, great. Love to hear it. All right, if you're not awesome or great yet, just wait. Let this all soak in. Quiet and ready to receive. Receive the truths that come forth today in the music, in the message, in the prayers. Just open that heart space. I invite you to breathe with me now, a mindful breath. Just relax into this beautiful day as we bring ourselves into alignment with that divine presence and with each other as we speak our mission statement together this morning. We recognize and realize the omnipresence of divine love as the truth of all.
And in this quiet place, let us just take another breath, breathing in the newness of the moment and releasing that love out as we consciously align ourselves with that inner essence of our being. For that is where we know there is only one living spirit that is the source of all creation, the ultimate divine reality, whole, perfect, complete, the source of all good, the field of infinite possibility and absolute unconditional love. And this love is ever present and eternal. And the Spirit is present in all life by many names. And it is in this beingness, this presence of the life force, that I know this is the essence of all people, including myself and each one here today. For this presence, the Spirit, is our birthright, and it is being each of us as forgiveness, as love, as wholeness, as healing, as harmony, as joy and happiness. And right now, I accept that love that is present in all of our activities. I claim our oneness in this God, in this Spirit, declaring that if there is anything that needs to be released, it is released right now. Our vision of all that is possible for ourselves and our world is expanding. We consciously enter our natural state of forgiveness, and wholeness and healing are now being restored in our life. The love of Spirit renews us, and we each accept a life filled with freedom and open-heartedness, compassion, and joy. And I turn my attention to the prayer chest and each desire of your heart. And I know that those requests are already manifesting in wholeness and completeness. That peace, love, harmony, health, and abundance is assured as the fullness of Spirit is revealed in each request. And each person requesting is relaxed and aligned and has full confidence and trust in that fullness of Spirit being right where they are. The service is blessed. It is a blessed event that we are each enfolded in the consciousness that is raised by the volunteers, the music, the message. Everything that goes on here today is a blessed event for our benefit. And we are a blessing to each other as our love radiates. And we each feel that magnificence of Spirit in the other. And I give thanks for this realization that sets us free for a fulfilling life. And I release these words into the law, accepting it as already done, as we join together and declare, and
so it is.
Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Get ready, my to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, my soul. 'Cause here I go, deeper, deeper, deeper than I've ever been before. Here I go, closer, closer, closer to my sacred source. Here I go, deeper, deeper, deeper than I've ever been before. Here I go, closer, closer, closer to my sacred source. Get ready, my soul.
Good morning.
Good morning.
If there is something heavy on your heart this morning, something that is troubling you, or you just want a little extra help this week in your own spiritual practices, please put your request in the prayer chest, and the practitioner will do affirmative prayer on your behalf this week. From James Finley. God accepts us in our brokenness. We're called to be that for each other, which is the holiness of daily life. And from the Dalai Lama, peace is, I think, the manifestation of human compassion. And Ernest Holmes. Since no person is alike, there must be a unique place for you in the scheme of things. The divine pattern would be imperfect without you. Dare to be yourself.
Good ones, Lou. Thank you so much. All right. So, do lights up here? Yeah, awesome. Here we are, 2022. So our whole focus for the year 2022 is abundant living. Right? Okay, awesome, thank you. And so for, I have March, it's not March anymore.
No.
For April, our April focus, we touched on this just a little bit last month because it was essential in talking about health. But the whole month now we get to talk about abundant forgiveness. Aren't you excited? All right. That could be a sticky subject, right? But essential in spiritual healing, essential in spiritual living. I mean, you heard the quotes here. Compassion is the essence of peace, Dalai Lama. So I'm going to start out with life service here for this week, talking about abundant forgiveness. And I'm titling this, Let Go of the Past and Trust. Lean into the future, okay? So I have a few things that I want to share with you. You know, I find things from the internet off of these websites that you wouldn't necessarily think But what I do is I get an idea in my mind of what it is I want to share, the ideas, the principles that I want to go to. And then I just type that into good old Google, right? And I'm surprised out there in the whole world how many people have something to say about that particular subject. And so it's very educational for me, and I love sharing other people's work. I found in my life, especially in my family, people believe other people more than they believe me. So, isn't that funny? So anyway, I'm going to give you some ideas from these other websites. And this first one is from EssentialLifeSkills.net. Essential life skills. Imagine they might be talking about forgiveness on there. So this is Dr. Robert Enright. And he wrote, "Forgiveness is a choice. It is the process of uncovering and letting go of anger and resentments and regrets, while restoring hope and moving on with life. There is no question we have the right to feel resentment and the desire to respond accordingly, but we have the ability to make the choice not to. When we do, we refuse to play the role of the victim, and we let go of the control and power that the offending person or situation has over us. We choose to not allow grudges, hurt, or wrongdoings to define our lives." And today, because we have a whole month to talk about forgiveness, today is going to be a little bit centered on forgiving other people. Not that any of you need that, right? But it is going to be centered a little bit on forgiving other people, and then we'll move towards other things throughout the month. The ability to achieve forgiveness and let go of past hurts is one of the most critical challenges many of us face on the road to attaining personal peace and happiness. Anyone relate to that? Boy. While it certainly isn't easy, it is absolutely necessary for long-term mental and emotional health. And so he goes on to say, how can we attain forgiveness and letting go? So we've all heard so much about, of course, we know it's good for us to forgive, but how the heck do we do it? So I'm going to try to give you some ideas to help the forgiveness process move along today. Okay, and not talk about so much the benefits. We know the benefits of it. So go ahead and there we go. So number one, he says, begin by acknowledging what hurt or offended you. Acknowledge it, because a lot of us don't acknowledge that. A lot of us maybe hide that. He says, while denying the hurtful offense may be the first thing you may want to do, denying it, it is best to admit that it happened. Reflect upon it. Take note how you reacted and what it has done to your health and well-being, and be able to articulate what was unacceptable about the situation. Okay, do you see, we're bringing the light of our consciousness onto this event or person or whatever it was that we have taken personally or found has hurt us. Number two, aren't I so smart? Look at that. Look for a broader perspective on what took place. He says, make the attempt to understand the other person. Was the offense deliberate or merely mindless and insensitive? Perhaps the person had no idea they hurt you or was suffering from something themselves. Did they do it out of selfishness, recklessness, or were there other unknown circumstances at play? Sometimes going through the process of trying to understand the situation sheds new light on the matter and may lessen the hurtful response. It is also possible that you may have been oversensitive at the time. Hurt feelings are invariably subjective. Perhaps you were having a bad day. Perhaps they were having a bad day. So seeing that from a broader perspective, stepping out of the personalness of it and seeing it bigger, in a bigger picture. If you happen to know the hurtful act was deliberate, vicious, and intended to harm you, then you may have to reframe the situation. Super important here. Reframing is a technique whereby you change the conceptual or emotional viewpoint from which you experience an event and put it in a different context or frame of reference. Your ability to sort through a hurtful occurrence and put it into a different framework will prepare you to begin the process of forgiveness and letting go. I love that paragraph that he put in there. Before I read this, I called that reinterpretation, reinterpreting to myself, because I get to tell myself the story. And I am telling myself the story, right? We're all telling ourselves the story. And I have the ability to reinterpret that story to be my benefit, no matter how it seemed or appeared to be, or how I interpreted it in the first place. Do I not have the ability to see that story however I choose? It's almost insane to continue to see something as hurtful to you when we have the ability, not saying it's easy, but we have the ability to reinterpret that and make it beneficial to us. Does that make sense? You get that? Number 3, work through the emotions. As well as acknowledging the event, acknowledge the anger, frustration, and myriad emotions, but do not get stuck in them. Practice stress management techniques such as exercise, yoga, deep breathing, guided meditations, or anything else you find soothing and relaxing. Using cognitive strategies like writing in a journal or talking to a wise friend or counselor is also very beneficial. So not stuffing down your emotions, but recognizing them. Again, our attention and our awareness is light, and we bring the light of our awareness to our emotions, and they dissolve, right? Number 4, is that what we're on? Commit towards letting go and moving on. Commit is the word there. Remember first that the act of forgiving is more for your own benefit than anyone else's. Secondly, forgiveness and letting go take time. So be patient with yourself. That's another huge thing. Jesus said you forgive 70 times 7. That's not just one time and it's done. 70 times 7 is a lot of forgiveness work, right? And being patient with ourselves goes a long way. Certainly it can be difficult to separate what you feel emotionally with what makes sense to do logically. However, if you commit to putting your energies on focusing on the benefits of forgiveness and letting go, you can more easily move forward with your life. Researchers and scientists have been discovering the health benefits of attaining forgiveness. Their studies have shown that serious mental, emotional, and physical consequences can result from holding on to grudges and bitterness. Consequences such as depression, anxiety, and the feeling that your life lacks meaning and purpose, as well as the loss of valuable connectedness with family and friends. These become high prices to pay for holding on to resentments. And number 5, get professional help if you need it. If you find it too difficult to forgive and let go on your own, especially if the offending acts have been traumatic or are ongoing, then consider working through your feelings and deeper issues with a good therapist or spiritual practitioner. It would be more than worth your while to gain the peace of mind you seek and to move forward with your life. He says, ultimately, the act of forgiveness releases us from past hurts, memories, and enslavement. Alternatively, to not forgive is to surrender oneself to the control of others and allow the present to be consumed by the past. If we choose not to forgive, we subject ourselves to the possibility of carrying anger, bitterness, and resentment into future situations and relationships, as well as deprive ourselves of the peace of mind, the health, and the happiness that we deserve. In the end, the best revenge is a life well lived. I like that. All right, so that was from essentialskills.com. And now I think a special treat I found, and many of you may have read this book, which I have not read the book, and it's the book of Forgiving by Desmond Tutu. Has anyone read that? One person, wow. So I'm just going to go over the fourfold path of forgiveness. Yeah, so it's just 4 steps, and that's all I'm going to share with you today. If you want the rest of the book, you can go get it. It's called The Book of Forgiving by Desmond Tutu, and I believe maybe his daughter was also a co-writer in that. And then they started this forgiveness challenge. This was some years ago, a forgiveness challenge, and they made a whole website about a forgiveness challenge and the goal to forgiving. And so I'm just going to share this 4-fold path with you today. Okay, so number 1 on the path is very similar to the last. Tell the story. Telling the story is how we get our dignity back after we have been harmed. It is how we begin to take back what was taken from us, and how we begin to understand and make meaning out of our hurting. Often after abuse, people hide the stories of their hurt. But silence and secrets are the breeding ground of shame, and by exposing the stories to the light, we can dispel the shame of the secrets. It is important to choose carefully to whom we tell our stories. That's an important thing. I would add to this idea, so this is me, I would add that telling the story to ourselves is the most important thing here. Again, not hiding from it. The beginning of forgiveness is admitting to yourself that you have allowed your peace to be disturbed. And tell yourself the truth in your own words. I love journaling for this kind of thing, because no one's going to read your journal. You get to just say all the crap you want until the good stuff starts bubbling up as well, right? Or I do. So tell the story from the perspective that you are seeing it right now. Get all your blubbering out. Tell the story, okay? Number 2, name the hurt. Name the hurt. Giving the emotion a name is the way we come to understand how what happened affected us. We are each hurt in our own unique ways, and when we give voice to this pain, we begin to heal it. Sometimes the very act of naming the emotion can take some of the power out of it. By saying, "Oh, I'm feeling hurt," or anxious, or sad, we give our attention and caring to the emotion, which is the first step in allowing it to heal. Emotions that we ignore tend to grow and come out in ways that can be surprising. Anybody acted like that before? Wow, that surprised me. I don't know, like the great Oscar slap. I think that was surprising, wasn't it? Does anyone know about that? I don't know how you can't. Media covered that crazy, huh? All right, back to this. Okay, so recognize and get a good understanding of the emotion coming up for you when you tell the story as you see it now. So here we're still journaling, okay? We told our story, and next thing to do is to Recognize the emotions that have come up for you so that you can better understand where you're coming from, right? Write it all down. Number 3, grant forgiveness. We choose forgiveness because it is how we find freedom and keep from remaining trapped in an endless loop of telling our stories and naming our hurts, right? We told our story once, we named our hurts once, and now we're going into granting forgiveness. It is how we move from victim to hero. A victim is in a position of weakness and subject to the whims of others. Heroes are people who determine their own fate and their own future. Whether or not the perpetrator of your hurt knows that you have forgiven is not important. You know that you have set down the load of your anger, hurt, and betrayal. What a relief. This can be a slow process. Sometimes it takes several attempts over time to release the fullness of the pain. But be patient with yourself and don't expect the process to be completed overnight. So, going through your journal, you may want to do this whole process over and over and over and over as you get more and more and more relief from it, because the idea is to allow this to let go and bring peace of mind. The peace that has always been there, but we've been blocking it with our resentments, right? We're moving on from that. We're letting it go. We're granting forgiveness, being patient with ourselves, knowing that if we're doing the work, then we're doing the work. We're doing what is asked of us to do. So be patient with yourself. It is working. Forgiveness always works. Don't give up on it. Remember that forgiveness is a daily practice. If you follow a forgiveness practice every day for even 5 minutes, your persistence will pay off eventually and will show up as more peace of mind, less anger, and more joy in your life. Forgiveness is a way of living, just like Jesus said. Number 4. Now he has released the relationship, and a reading that I was taking this from also added renew or release the relationship. And I kind of like that, so I left that in my stuff here. A preference is always toward renewal or reconciliation, except in cases where safety is an issue. We need to take care of ourselves if safety is an issue. You hear that, right? When we choose to release a relationship, that person walks off with a piece of our hearts and a piece of our history. The choice is not one to be made lightly or in the heat of the moment. Deciding whether or not to continue the relationship is difficult and personal. If the relationship is one where the benefits outweigh the costs, then renewal can be a good plan as long as both parties agree. However, if having a relationship with the person who hurt you is unsafe, too painful, or puts other people in your life in danger, it is likely that releasing the relationship is the best choice. Take your time with this decision and make sure that your heart feels comfortable with the choice that you make. So right now, I just invite you into a short meditation this morning, which will lead us into our special music. So close your eyes if you choose and begin to relax your body as you notice your breathing. It's nice and relaxed. Nothing to do but be here at church, open and relaxed. Thich Nhat Hanh reminds us, as we breathe in, we can calm our body. As we breathe out, we can smile. dwelling in this present moment right now, I know this is a wonderful moment. I choose to expand my awareness of this present moment that I am in right now. As I allow thoughts from the past or future to fall away, I find myself more fully right here and now. I feel the chair supporting me. I'm aware of the space surrounding me. I feel the energy of others mingling with my energy. Can I step back and just observe this present moment right now with all its possibilities, its infinite opportunities? Can I see that I have the power to rise above my previous judgments and make each moment a new opportunity for a new me, a more mindful me that I can step into? As I give up the need to be right, I can choose the path of peace. As I relax my clenched fist, my hands open to receive truth into my heart, my mind, and my body. This truth comes to me from deep within and whispers its wisdom. I become quiet so I can hear this still small voice from within me. I become still in my mind, and I feel the Holy Spirit, or the wholeness of spirit, quicken my soul, and I am changed forever. I know that each person is on their own journey back to the one. There are no mistakes. We are exactly where we are by divine appointment. I give thanks for knowing this truth, as I am set free through the act of knowing this truth. So imagine with me now. Imagine a world that works for everyone. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. Won't you join us today, right now in this moment, and the world will be as one. Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us, above us only sky. Imagine all the people living for today. Well, I imagine there's no countries. It isn't hard to do. Nothing to kill or die for, and no religion too. Imagine all the people living life in peace.
someday you'll join us, and the world will be as one. Imagine no possessions. I wonder if you can. No need for greed or hunger. A brotherhood of man. Imagine all the people sharing all the world. They say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. Oh, someday you'll join us, and the world will live as one.
Thank you, Tanya. Thank you, thank you. It's hard to keep Tanya from crying when she sings that song. Proud of you, Tanya. You did it. It's beautiful. Okay, so I have a couple quotes here to end with. A quote from Desmond Tutu. Forgiveness says you are given another chance to make a new beginning. Isn't that lovely? And from Oscar Wilde. Always forgive your enemies. Nothing annoys them so much.
God, you are every mountain. God, you are every ocean. God, you are every canyon, every inch of earth and sky. God, you are every morning. God, you are every midnight. God, you are every moment, every second of my life. Everything I see, everything I do, everything I am is you. Everything above, everything below, everything I know is you. God, you are every sunrise. God, you are every moon glow. God, you are every star shine, every inch of earth and sky. God, you are every springtime. God, you are every snowfall. God, you are every season, every second of my life. Everything I see, everything I do, everything I am is you. Everything above, everything below, everything I know is you. 'Cause you are the very breath I breathe. And your perfect love created me. Everything I see, everything I do, everything I am is you. Everything above, everything below, everything I know is you. Everything I see, everything I do, everything I am is you. Everything above, everything below, everything I know is you. Everything I see, everything I do, everything I am is you. Everything above, everything below, everything I know is you.
Okay, as the ushers come forth, this is is our time to consciously participate in the law of circulation. So as you take a symbol of the abundant blessings from Spirit in your hand, please know with me that these blessings go back into circulation, spreading the blessings as they also come back to me, as everyone is blessed by this multitude of blessings. And our affirmation:
I release any resistance to my unlimited wealth.
Give a little love.
Give a little light, it comes back around and feel alright. Oh, life is good. Oh, life is good. Give a little love, give a little light, it comes back around and feel alright.
As these blessings are gratefully received, and they go forth, blessing our community, our state, our country, and our world. And so it is.
Thank you so much, Lou. Okay, claiming our good. So these are affirmations that we all speak together. Okay, put them up there. You read through those a little bit. And as a group, we're just going to read straight down. So here we go, claiming our good together.
I release the past so I can step into the future with pure intentions.
I accept that I did the best I could at the time with what I knew. I am capable of moving beyond my mistakes. I am willing to live with all of who I am, and so it is.
I'm in the right place
At the right time, I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be.
I'm in the right place at the right time.
I'm just where I'm supposed to be.
I'm in the right place at the right time.
I'm just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I'm getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here.
I'm in the right place
At the right time, I'm just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I'm just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul my soul is